Hello parents, today I'm going to be doing a video about taking your child's lead. When we are doing education with our children and our students, we are focused on doing a lot of modeling and doing a lot of honoring what your child is saying. It's just like if you are teaching someone, that saying drink will get you a drink. You also show them many times a day by saying, oh, I'm gonna have a drink of water. Oh, I need to go use the bathroom. And then you go into the bathroom, And so there's a lot of things that people see you do when they're learning language. And when our students have gotten these devices, they don't just automatically know what all of the buttons mean. And so we've been teaching that, and you work on that at home too. And that's where whenever you're doing something, you can show your student how to model that. And whenever it is appropriate for you to say, oh, well, this is what you're going to be doing now, you can model that as well. But today we're going to be focusing on taking your child's lead. So whenever your student does say something on their device, then you can honor it by showing them what that looks like. I'm going to use a resource that a speech therapist sent on to me to show you how to do this. And so when I am doing this, you're not going to hear the voice output because it's just a trial version, but it is going to look like what some of the devices look like a little bit. So what I have here is Snap Core First. And the reason why they say core first is that you start with the core words. Core words we'll talk more about with our students, but that's most of the language that we use is core words. So it's good for us to be able to do that, not just all those nouns and verbs, and well, not all just nouns or adjectives, kind of like your requests and stuff, but having a lot of those other words that are also part of what the population uses in order to make those requests, make comments, just interact in the conversation. So this is what I'm going to be using. I'll be changing the grid sizes too in order to be able to model for our students and model for you parents too whenever I'm making student or parent videos. So today, again, we're talking about taking your child's lead. Now, there are a lot of things that your students will say during sessions. We usually start out with saying hello to our students, and we model for them how to say hello back. So I would just go to the student's device, go to their quick fires, greeting and social, and say hi. But it might be in a different spot on your student's device. So it might be under talk, greetings, hi, or quick comments, hello, or greetings and social might be its own category right on the first page of the device too. So just go to where your student might say hi when you're going to start talking to them after you've been out of the room or something. And then, you say hi, and then you just show them how to say hi right back. You don't need to expect them to say it on their own every time, but a lot of learning with devices is with modeling. So don't expect that that your student's going to just know everything after one try. When people are learning how to speak and say hi and make requests and stuff like that, they've already heard it many, many times before they say it. So the students should be shown many, many times before they are expected to make a response. Okay, so we'll start the conversation with hi, usually when I'm doing a session. And this can be anytime you're going to see, you're going to have a conversation with your student, or anytime that they're in a room and you're with them. You can do this taking your child's lead. So as much as possible, and I know that there's sometimes too where at home you've got other students sometimes that you're working with, or you have a job that you're doing during the day too. So you might not be able to honor this as much as you would like, but if your family culture is such that as much as possible, the people around the student are honoring the language, acknowledging, and doing something that matches what they might have just said, that's all really positive for language development. Some of the things that your students have said in sessions with me, especially the group sessions, have been requests. So that's something that most of our students, you don't have to work super hard with getting your students to make a request because they have had this honored in the past. So for example, one student a few weeks ago just said balloon during one of my Zoom sessions, and I just grabbed a balloon out of the drawer and blew it up during the session, and so then it was just a good way for us to honor it. I know in some of the Zoom sessions I've been sharing my screen and pulling up some different pictures when somebody says something, and it's been kind of them driving the conversation that way. Now, when you have multiple students, like 8 or 9 students all together, it's really easy for the conversation to keep going. But I don't expect that to happen at home. If you only have one student with a device that's working on it, it's going to take a little bit longer for the conversation to keep moving. So, I mean, expect a delay, expect a lag. If you've got someone that's kind of shy and doesn't really want to talk on command, then just whenever they do say something, do your best to honor it. So these are some of the things. If someone says YouTube, then I would pull up YouTube and I would maybe make some suggestions. I would go to, if they've got some different music options, and I would see if they want to choose something from there. Or you might even put up a couple hands and see if there's a choice if you give them a couple different options. Or maybe they want to look at NASCAR, or they want to look at a movie. So a lot of these buttons can kind of be interconnected like that. If someone has said Pinterest and then they say like banana, we could search banana bread recipes on Pinterest, or just any recipe with banana smoothies, banana bread, banana cream pie, just a lot of different recipes, and see what comes up. So a lot of these requests, those are pretty easy to, you hear them and you know that your student is making a request, so you can go ahead and show them and honor that right away. There are other things that might be a little bit more difficult to just kind of program, like, okay, if I have someone that says this, then I should respond this way. So, for example, feelings. That's something that we sometimes talk about. If somebody does say a feeling, sometimes I'll just they say happy. I might search happy on YouTube and it'll come up with a happy song. And then, we might dance and we might have some fun with that. We might do, someone says sad, we might just search a sad song. Or there was this clip that I knew from a show where someone was just singing a song and they were like, oh, this is a sad song, and they were singing it. And so, just things like that are kind of fun that you maybe have in your knowledge bank. You can search for that too, anything that you think might be a good way to show that. Okay, some other things that have come up too, when we've gone to, some students have some color words right kind of close in their device too. And so if they search a color, I might just pull up a Google page and just type in that color. And there are a whole bunch of different things that would come up. And then the conversation might go from there. So if I do blue, okay, I've got blue, go to images. So here, it's a lot of different colors, but you find some different things too, like Christmas decorations. So then that kind of opens up the conversation there. There's a blue whale. Blue bathroom. Blueberries and blackberries. Flowers. So there's a lot of really fun things that can come up just from looking at those pictures. Okay, and then finally, I just want to talk a little bit, kind of leading into some other things that we're going to talk about. We're going to be doing a session on some core words, or some sessions in the coming up on core words. And I think we did do one on I want requesting. That's a core word. Basically, like all of your verbs and pronouns would be core words. And then there's some other words too, and we'll talk more about that, but with the students too. But if somebody, you look at something or you're watching something, it's in the background, and it says something about sharks, and your student says want or like or more, then okay, you can stop whatever video it is and do one just on sharks. That's a really good way to find the interests and to see, what the student really has a passion for and what the student really would like to learn. I know there are certain students too that when I have brought up something kind of unexpected in our Zoom meetings, like when I talk about motorcycles or Corvettes or something like that with some of the fellows, there's one in particular that has gotten really excited and expressed a lot more when he saw those kinds of pictures. So anything that you can do where you're figuring out something exciting to your student, it's going to just increase that learning process. If you're looking at something that you like and you want to do more of it, or there's that kind of motivator there, it's the potential for a language development is increased because it's just a high motivator. So that's I think that's all I have for the video today. But I just wanted to give you a lot of good ideas for being able to just take your child's lead. Again, don't worry too much about, forcing them to say more about it, but just anytime your child is saying something, do your best to honor it. Even if sometimes in the Zoom conversation, I'll be responding to something, or maybe like a staff asked a question or something like that, and I might be responding, and then somebody says something, I might just stop responding, come back to it, and just immediately respond to whatever it is that the student has said. There are so many times where it might be difficult for our students to feel heard, just all the times that they aren't able to have their device on them, or like during the transport or something like that, or just people that don't understand that this is our students' communication, and so it's really beneficial for our students if we can be kind of the first to recognize, okay, you said something, I maybe don't know what that means, I would love it if you could tell me more, I would like that, but I'm not going to make you, I'm just going to honor whatever it is that you did say, and even if I don't choose the correct thing, someone says Pinterest and they wanted to look at something else on Pinterest. They didn't want to talk about the bananas. They were moving on. They wanted to talk about clothes. That's okay. At least they are seeing that you have heard them. And so that's just kind of going to be something that we can kind of focus on how can we help our students to be heard, and so that would be my recommendation as the teacher. That's always the way that I go about it, and just something for you to kind of think about as you are going through the days with your students. There's a lot that you're doing, and you know, you're superheroes right now for taking everything on, and I appreciate that. But yeah, I just wanted to show you and let you know that this is kind of what we've been doing in school, and that is a really good way to build that language, taking the pressure off a little bit, but just honoring everything that is said as much as we can. All right, have a wonderful day. I will post another video about the student, or for the students today, and I plan to do maybe a couple minutes where I'm explaining your role in the video, and then after that point you can turn it so that your student can see it, and the rest of the video will be all for them. But I'm just kind of trying to show you exactly how I would do it, and see if that can help it be more beneficial to you and more beneficial to your students. And thank you so much for everything that you're doing. If you have any questions or this wasn't very clear, just let me know, and I'm happy to do a lot more with parent videos and student videos. And I think that if we can go through this together and get through it, you know, we're all going to have a better understanding of each other and the team, and it's going to be really good for students. There's a silver lining to all of this, and have a great day.